The Founder Effect and the Ashkenazi Jew Population, an UnEssay by Frankie Foltz. If you're one of the 26 million people who have taken an at-home ancestry test, you may have noticed something weird. You're part Ashkenazi Jew. Wait, what? How can you tell someone's religion from their DNA? That's the catch, you can't. The reason instead is that Ashkenazi Jew shows up on your heritage report is that Ashkenazi Jew is actually a distinct genetic population regardless of religion. So how did this happen? A founder effect. A founder effect is when a small group of a larger population only procreates with each other and starts a new population, thereby reducing the size of the gene pool. With this comes a sort of bottleneck in variability, making the new population distinct from the old one. Founder effects usually happen due to geographic isolation, but in the case of the AJ population, the first founder effect was due to cultural mostly isolation. Now a bit of a history lesson. Since the origins of the religion, the Jewish people have mingled with the rest of society, but they have mostly married and had kids with people within their own Jewish community. This reduces the overall variability, but also when mutations are introduced, it'll change and alter the genetic makeup of the new gene pool. The bigger, more potent founder effect happened with geographic isolation at the diaspora, when the Temple of Solomon was destroyed around AD 70 by the Romans, because religious toleration from your conquering overlords wasn't exactly a thing at that time. Since they were being threatened with death and enslavement yet another time, the Jews fled from their home in Jerusalem to other parts of the Middle East and going north towards Europe, especially to Eastern Europe, were the Ashkenazi Jews. With them, though, as they moved to Eastern Europe, came the mutations of the founding population, such as Tay-Sachs, BRCA1 and BRCA2, and Gaucher's disease. These disease-causing mutations can be divided into two categories, the first being lipid storage disorders, also known as LSDs. These include Tay-Sachs, Gaucher's disease, Niemann-Pick disease, and others. The other category is creatively non-lipid storage disorders, such as BRCA1, BRCA2, idiopathic torsion dystonia, familial dysautonomia, and others. To give an example of the impact of the founder effect, we're going to look at Gaucher's disease. In the entire population, it has a prevalence of 1 in every 40,000 births, but in the Ashkenazi Jew population, it has a prevalence of 1 in every 450 births. That's an 89% higher likelihood of being born with Gaucher's syndrome in the Ashkenazi Jew population. So how does it impact healthcare today? Well, a lot of professionals are recommending that individuals get tested, not only to see if they have these genes, but if they're carriers and if they can pass them to their children. Realistically, though, we cannot altogether prevent these diseases. So, a lot of this work has helped the way we treat these genetic mutations. We see that symptoms could be from genetics, not necessarily from pathological infections, so we use enzyme and gene therapy, instead of looking for a pathological source and then treating with antibiotics or something along those lines. In fact, an area where a ton of research is currently being conducted is on patients diagnosed with a BRCA1 or a BRCA2 mutation. If these patients are at up to a 60% of an increased chance of breast cancer, how often should they go in for mammograms? Does the radiation from mammograms pose a higher risk of negatively impacting these individuals? Are there risk-free blood tests we can do to monitor these risks instead? These are all asked because of this BRCA1 and BRCA2 mutation. So what are our takeaways from today's video? Well, first off, historical events thousands of years ago still have biological and medical impacts today. Second off, understanding our family and genetic history can help us live healthier lives through preventative medicine. And third, fun fact, why should you care? It's because you know a lot of people affected by this concept. Albert Einstein, Scarlett Johansson, Steven Spielberg are just some of the celebrities and famous people you know. Not to mention the fact that a lot of your friends, co-workers, acquaintances, just people you generally know and care about, likely have some sort of genetic connection to the Ashkenazi Jew population, given the fact that there are more than nearly 10 million Ashkenazi Jews in the world as of 2014. The moral of the story? Get tested, because knowledge is power, and you could be affected by a founder effect that happened thousands of years ago. Thanks for watching, and l'chaim!